dethroning the Jewish God, the false Jewish God, with nature, or I should say, nature's name as God. Now, what do I mean by this? Basically, there are many religions that have unfortunately gone into retrograde and became paganism, but which were at one time pantheistic. Of these, the most well known is the oldest continually practiced Aryan religion of Hinduism. However, Hinduism today is not like Hinduism was back when it was a pure Aryan religion. Now, at one point in time, there was but one god in Hinduism, and that god was Brahman. And it's actually thought, although I don't know how true this is, that Abraham, the prophet of the Jews, comes from a Brahman, which would be against the Brahman. Now, Brahman is not like Yahweh. Yahweh is an old man wearing a toga in the clouds like Zeus or Jupiter or any pagan deity. Yahweh is created in the image of the Jewish people, or the Israelites, I should say, because the Jews didn't even exist yet. He is a jealous god, a vengeful god, and not a very nice person. Brahman is more like an all-pervasive force, like the creator in cosmotheism. I highly recommend people do look into the cosmotheist trilogy. But to go further with this, what one has to understand is, as I had stated, to call nature nature means virtually nothing. But to call nature Brahman, that has a meaning to it. It has a focus. The other primary concept of this type of deity actually comes from a more modern interpretation from the Lakota Sioux, actually of the Jewish god, but not really, because it's Wakantanka, which means the great mysteries. Now, there is a religion in place, sometimes called the Peyote religion, which is dedicated to Wakantanka and peyote usage, but that's not what I'm talking about here. Wakantanka, which is usually erroneously translated as the Great Spirit, and really means the Great Mystery, is an all-pervasive force that animates, gives life, etc., to all of creation. And it's actually pretty cool, and I recommend that people read the Gospel of the Red Man, which is better than what you will get from, say, the Native American Church of North America. I think it's Thomas Seton wrote the book, or it might be Charles Eastman wrote the book, and Thomas Seton took credit because Charles Eastman was a Indian that didn't get credit. But what I want to point out is there's a lot of neat things going on with Wakantanka. And again, Wakantanka sounds a lot more commanding than just nature. Now I'm going to go into a little bit about how how can I put this? People like to say, oh, well, how do you know moral relativism is not true? How do you know reality is the law of God? Well, the Seventh-day Adventists really mastered this with the 8 laws of health. But to go beyond that, how do I know homosexuality is sinful? Well, homosexuality increases the risk of disease. Sin results in disease. Sin results in death. What we need to do is get out of this supernatural thinking and look at things with common sense. Drug use results in moral and physical degradation of the body. The problem with Christianity for the longest time has been its pie-in-the-sky outlook, its idea of this spaceman that's looking out for everybody. And if you take Christianity out of the realm of supernaturalism, out of the realm of mysticism, out of the realm of occultism, and put it into a flesh and blood context, it begins to actually make sense.